Are you about to watch this video and you're not liked and subscribed to it? Like the video, please. Just go down. It's right there. It's right there.
I did. I hit it. I hit it. Have you hit it?
Welcome back to Starting Nine.
Go.
Episode 249. We got Ryan Weathers of the San Diego Padres on the podcast today.
Give me the last thing.
Yeah, I got to ask you a question, Dallas.
Ask away. Ask away.
Is Matt Olson for real? Like, is this something that like we can expect to see through the whole season? If you were a starting nine
listener, Jared, if you were a starting nine listener, I told you this at the very beginning of the season.
I told you this last year. I was just a year early.
Okay, so you're a year early, and I guess I'm right on time. That's what I've known has been in Matt Olson. That's what all A's fans, and as you said, you got a flash of it. So you pick him to be the leader in the clubhouse last year, potentially, for home runs. And though he's not in the lead right now, he sits at 18, just a few behind the leader.
Well, he's tied with Ronald Acuna Jr., so I think it's different when you say it like that. When you say, yeah, Matt Olson is tied for third in homers. Well, he's tied with Ronald Acuna Jr., who has held the major league lead for parts of this season. So he's in that category now.
Yeah, well, I mean, and maybe that's where because he's always been a guy that can be in that category. He's always been a guy that could do these things.
Yeah.
And now...
Well, he's just kind of ruining the aesthetic of the juniors, where it's like, all right, you have Vladdy Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., and Ronald Acuna Jr., and Matt Olson.
Yeah, and I'm Matt. It's
yeah.
Have you seen the Lonely Island video?
Yes.
Yeah, you've seen all that. So yeah. Jose, and I'm Matt. That's kind of how Oli is. He's not going to be overly flashy, but the dude and what's cool about watching him, what he's doing right now, Jared, is he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark to left field as well, and just like Matt Chapman has started to swing the bat a little better, he's driving the ball.
We don't need an A's update. I was
opposite side of the field. That's exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah,
Matt Olson though is right in the smack dab of what the Oakland A's have been doing.
Yeah, it's been impressive to see him make up all that ground, because I thought for a second that the juniors were just going to kind of run away with it. No one was even going to be in the same category. But yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. When I could kind of sniff it from the beginning of the season. I was like, we're gonna have a home run race that's basically not because they're home run hitters, but it just happened to be like a face of baseball race. Right? Like, it's gonna be Vladdy, it's gonna be Tatis, it's gonna be Acuna. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Fernando Tatis Jr. had the grand slam on Sunday. It's the Mets.
Let me take this time right now to make the push for Matt Olson in the home run derby.
Oh boy. Okay, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were going to completely different. Let me take this time right now to make the push for Matt Olson to be the face of baseball, because this is a guy. Like, just hear me out, okay?
That would be aggressive. That would be a little aggressive.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be beneath you.
I would. Well, I'm absolutely fucking not. Matt Olson, quality American, a guy you'd want your daughter to marry. Okay. I want Matt Olson.
I'm not happy with Matt Olson.
Why are you not happy with Matt Olson? Is it because he's knocking on a door? Is he knocking on a door, Jared, that you don't want to see opened?
Nope. It's because he turned down Kowloon in 2019. We invited him. He said yes at the field, and then later that night he was like, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to go to bed. So maybe I'm just going to go to bed on saying anything nice about Matt Olson.
You can't do that, Jared. You got to give the guy an opportunity. He had shit to do. Advanced meetings the next day. There's a lot of things going on. But Matt Olson has under his belt this year the highest home run launch angle hit this season at 43 degrees. And he has hit some absolute fucking tanks. Some tanks. And that's a swing geared to just go deep. That's what that swing is for, to punish baseballs and hit them a long fucking way. And there would be it almost might be a detriment, actually. I don't know if I need to be standing for Oli to go to the fucking home run derby, because he hits balls high enough where unless he goes Bryce Harper mode and just completely disregards the rules of not being able to hit another ball until one lands, Matt Olson might struggle a bit in the Derby because he hits absolute fucking bombs. And you got to wait for that thing to come down. That could play against Ole.
Thanks for the information. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is actually the Major League home run leader. And how did he get there, Dallas? I'll tell you.
Well, no one's arguing that he's the leader.
I know. But how did he get there?
Oh,
he homered in 3 straight games, Dallas.
Yeah.
All 3 of those games?
2 in one game. He was like,
we're talking about Vladdy now. Yeah, we're talking about Vladdy now. How did he get those 3 homers?
I just told you.
3 straight games with a home run against the Boston Red Sox. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't the only one. I feel like at one point in time on Sunday, you had the fucking peanut vendors, you had the ice cream, you had the beer vendors lining up. Like, they thought that everybody just got to go down on the field and start hitting fucking homers. Like, yeah, this is awfully nice of the Red Sox. They're just letting everybody bang today, huh? They're not even letting the Red Sox hit. They're just letting the Toronto Blue Jays have at it. Do they have enough baseballs? Was there a baseball shortage out there in Boston?
See, I don't really care because, like, the 3 home runs off Martin Perez, like, that hurts, obviously. But the 5 home runs after that, I mean, Ryan Weber's not a real pitcher, and then the rest were off position players, so I don't really care. The Blue Jays hit 3 home runs.
Well, no,
it happened to be 8,
but
like, the record books will say 8, but it's really 3.
No.
Like Ryan Weber, I'm sorry, not a real
At
player.
one point in time, there was rumors that the Red Sox had sent their clubbies over to the parking garage and over to Lansdowne to dig up more baseballs because they were flying out of the ballpark at such a rapid rate. And that's something you don't typically see in the big leagues. Like, usually they've got a storage unit full of baseballs that they can just kind of cycle out. And the fact that the Red Sox had their clubbies out on Lansdowne trying to figure out a way to bring balls back in time so they could keep playing baseball. That's how quickly the ball was flying out of Fenway. Fucking incredible. So shout out to the Red Sox clubbies for who really, it was like if you can imagine and envision the clubbies for the Sox running around outside of Fenway, it's like fucking Dunkirk. Like, guys just sprinting all over. They have no weapons to defend themselves. They're just being pelted by baseballs, a barrage of bombs from the Blue Jays. Get me out of here! Get me out of here! What's up? What are we doing? It's Simeon! Oh shit, it's Vlad Jr. My God, what are we? Yeah, you need good soldiers like those Sox clubbies. So shout out to them for keeping the game going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they won the first game of the series, though, Dallas.
That's cool. You got 1 out of 3, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a 4-gamer, so they can still split.
Oh, so did you go 2-2?
It's a Friday to Monday. I hate those, by the way.
The little wraparound?
Yeah, I fucking hate those. If you're gonna play 4 games,
haven't split the series yet. So it's 2-1.
No, but they still can.
They can. Okay. All right.
Yeah. They can.
Doubtful.
They can.
Yeah. No,
this
for sure. There's still the opportunity is there because they have to play the game for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that was what, like, you said this the last time. We're like, oh yeah, like this. I forget what it was. Like, yeah, if this happens, then blah 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 blah, and then it did happen. So fuck you. I don't remember what it was though.
so you're mad at me. You're mad at me for telling you some shit was gonna happen, and some shit happened, and now you're mad.
No. You like it was this exact scenario. I forget the details, but you were like, oh yeah, okay. So if this happens and that happens, then you make your point, and then it did end up happening. So I was like, fuck you, but we didn't record a podcast for like 3 days, so I forget what it was.
I don't know.
But you were like, oh yeah, like that's totally gonna happen. Yeah, okay. And then it did.
Well, I mean, obviously it didn't.
I'll think of it. I'm not good at thinking of stuff on the spot. Like, I'll probably take a shower later and be like, oh, yeah, fuck you, Dallas.
Wow. Here we are again on the record for probably the 3rd or 4th time at this point thinking of me in the shower.
I don't know. That doesn't bother me. That's where I do my best thinking. I'll be in the shower and I'll come up with some of the best ideas immediately.
Surrounding me.
That's where I find my clarity.
Jared, why does your bar of soap have massive grooves and hairs in it? What's the problem there? I found that very weird. I went to go wash my hands in Jared's bathroom. And this bar of soap had a groove in it with hair on either side of this groove. Very weird. I thought it was like a new designer soap or something, but whatever.
They do have high-end soap. I do. How about Albert Pujols, though?
La Machina.
I can't get on board with the conspiracy theorists. They're like, oh, he was dogging it to get out of Anaheim. That's not what happened. He's just rejuvenated. You motivated Albert. You motivated him.
Well, it's a prime example of being surrounded with positive energy. And look, you had a dude who left Anaheim who was, for all intent and purposes, a huge target for a lot of people to just default complain about. Like, why aren't things going well? Fucking Albert. Well, never mind that the starting pitching has not been great. Never mind that that's been a huge, huge factor in why the Angels haven't had success for a large part of the time that Albert has been an Angel. Let's not talk about that. Let's just blame him and his beat up feet, and let's blame Albert for all of it. And, well, you just can't do that. But when you're that guy in that situation, coming to the yard doesn't invigorate you the way that it once did. The idea of the work you're putting in today, right now, paying off later down the road this year, that's just not there. And Albert, having been around the game for as long as he's been, he could see that. He understood that. So really, it's not about him, reeling it in or dogging it to get himself out of town. That's not something that I got Albert Pujols doing.
No. It's not like he's like tearing the fucking cut. I mean, he's hitting 246. He's getting on base 292. He's slugging 525.
As soon as he showed up as a Dodger, was he not making more? Like, did it not feel like he was making more of an impact in the first 10 minutes of being a Dodger than it felt like he had made in Anaheim in a while?
Yeah.
So that's the point. That's why people feel that way. I
mean, no, there's no argument about, like, if you could pick one or the other, would you take 2021 Dodgers Albert or would you take 2021 Angels Albert? Like, you're taking Dodgers Albert for sure. But it's not like he's hitting fucking 355 and with a 1025 OPS. Like, it's not like that. But he's definitely better. He looks happier. He looks to be motivated, of course. He only has multi-hit games in the month of June. He's either gone 0-fer or 2-fer. In the month of June.
Love it.
Yep.
But and again, the reason he's going to be able to, and for the Dodgers' sake and his sake, hopefully continue to succeed in spurts is because he doesn't have the weight of all of that other shit that he had in Anaheim on him here in L.A. Like, Albert Pujols can show up to the ballpark with no fear of underperforming for the remainder of his career. And that wasn't the case in Anaheim. Regardless of what you expected out of him going to the ballpark in Anaheim was day in, day out going to be him judged about how little he was producing, how big of a drain he has been on this roster, blah, 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 blah. He goes to the Dodgers, and it's, wow, Dodgers have ridiculous depth, and they've got a Hall of Famer that they can go to in a pinch hit spot and start, every few days, whatever.
Good for Albert. I'm happy for him. I think it would have been, because I think that there was a chance that we were staring that situation in the face where he just didn't sign somewhere. Like, that wasn't totally far-fetched. And I think we kind of, as we get further away from it, forget, like, our reactions to the Dodgers being the team that signed Albert Pujols. Like, I thought for sure it was going to be a team that was like, you know what, we're not really that good, but we could use the extra ticket purchases, so let's bring in Albert. I mean, he got signed by a team that has the best chance to win the World Series this year.
You automatically took 15 teams and took him out of your brain, right? Because you're thinking,
I didn't think he was going to the NL. No chance.
There's not a single team that's signing this guy that has to put him out there in the field defensively, and that happened. And to your point that you just made, it's the team that was favored to win the World Series again.
Yeah.
Again. And that's who went and got a dude that was just scrap heaped by another squad. That's what's crazy is we're talking about a guy who really didn't have a landing spot after the team he was on let him go. And not only did he find a landing spot, it was where it was. And that's why it was insane when it happened, is because the Dodgers have been so forward thinking and have been, on the record as saying, like, we'll move guys around, we'll plug and play. We're not into having to go and make that big, huge, splashy free agent decision if we don't have to. I mean, we can. Mm-hmm. Trevor Bauer, you want to come win a World Series? How's that sound? But now we've got guys that we're comfortable, like, moving around. Guys like Austin Barnes, guys like Chris Taylor. So it was just kind of awkward that you go and get Albert.
Yeah. Happy for him, though. Happy for his friends. A lot of his friends were pretty upset about that. We do have the Mount Rushmore segment from last week.
The fish.
That was big time. That was probably the more fun ones that we've done so far, the Marlins.
Yeah, well, it's just there was a lot of options, a lot of different ways, a lot of different ways you could go
with those. Yeah,
yeah. That's what's fun about these about the Mount Rushmore segment is you can go so many different ways, coming from so many different places, valuing different things.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
You can get creative with that one. You could also get creative with New Amsterdam vodka. Make sure to head to your local liquor store and pick up a new summer co-branded Nav bottle. The same extra smooth 80-proof vodka now with custom Barstool labels made from some of the finest quality grains from America's heartland. New Amsterdam vodka is 5 times distilled for unparalleled smoothness and filtered 3 times for a clean, crisp finish. New Amsterdam vodka, the official vodka of Barstool Sports. There's some teams that we got to talk about right now. The Angels being one of them. We just talked about.
You just want to talk about them in 3 days? We could talk about them in 3 days, and I'll answer that for you.
Are they about to play the A's?
They sure are.
Oh, well, they've won 5 straight. They've scratched and clawed their way back to 500, Dallas. I don't know if you've noticed that in your division.
They have.
The Angels are actually a game above 500. They're 33-32 coming into this series. They've won 6 straight games. 6 straight games for those Angels. And now they've got to go up against the A's, who have been arguably just as hot as the Angels. This is going to be a good series. Are you getting Shohei in the series or no? Is he going to miss the bus again?
Not getting Shohei. There's a solid chance he ends up missing the bus anyway. But we're not going to see him on the mound. That's okay. I believe we've got Dylan Bundy, Andrew Heaney, and Griffin Canning is who the A's will be seeing. Look, Max Sassy, big part of why the Angels are hot right now. He's swinging the bat very well during this stretch. We're going to get I had a little exchange back and forth with Mark Gubiza, who is the color analyst, a phenomenal color analyst for the Angels. And he talked about Jared Walsh coming into town, squaring off against Matt Olson, 2 guys who play a very important defensive position in this day and age and have produced at a wonderful clip. Jared Walsh, just a tick really behind Matt Olson across the board in production. Slight advantage in batting average. I think Walsh is hitting 291. But after that, he is, just behind Ole in a lot of the other offensive categories. And being able to watch him along with the rest of this Halo squad is going to be exciting, just to see kind of why they're playing or why they're winning the games that they're winning. And like I told you, I think a lot of it has to do with the way Matt
Justin Upton's been hitting the shit out of the ball too.
Mm-hmm.
For the last 2 weeks, Justin Upton is hitting .361 with a 1336 OPS. That is the 5th highest OPS in Major League Baseball over that span. Just in the month of June.
Just in the month of June.
It's pretty good. I mean, You just look up and down here, and it's like Stassi, 1381. He's fourth in the majors in OPS this month. Upton is fifth. And then you go down to 10th. It's Shohei Ohtani, 1178. The Angels have been hitting the ball.
It's a matter of whether or not they're going to be able to pitch at the same time, Carrabis.
Yeah, they haven't figured that out yet. They will eventually. I feel like we will get to a point where the Angels realize that you do need pitching in order to succeed at the major league level. And when they get there, look the fuck out.
I just wish, I really do, for Angels fans, I wish that, and I'm sorry if I say this and this offends you and it hurts your feelings, but you didn't need Anthony Rendon.
No, you didn't. I think that was a panic pivot after losing out on Garrett Cole.
But it's and we talk about Mickey Callaway's presence being a potential deterrent for the Angels and a Trevor Bauer union. That really sucks too, considering how that played out. And it just, fuck, man. It feels like the Angels fucked that up. I'm sorry. We can continue to talk about how they haven't had the success in the pitching front, but it kind of feels like you haven't had the success in landing pitching on the pitching front to help the pitching front.
Which is a little strange, right? It shouldn't be that hard to lure a pitcher to California.
Well, and really, come on, especially with what you've got now as far as a supporting offensive cast. We have Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and California weather. Sound good? Oh, and all the money that you were asking for. Even though they didn't have all the money that Garrett Cole is asking for, what was their excuse for that? I mean, if that's the guy that kind of puts you over the top, and I could understand, because I had said before about the Toronto Blue Jays. I wanted the Toronto Blue Jays to be on Garrett Cole. And it's well, at that point, we don't exactly know what we have. Now we do. The Blue Jays have one of the best, if not the best, offenses in baseball. So it's if Garrett Cole's free agency came around now instead of back then, I feel like they should have been way more aggressive. But with the Angels, they're kind of in that position where it's we definitely know what we have. Offensively, we're not waiting for anyone to see if they can bloom into a superstar offensive player. We know what we got, so let's supplement that. But let me stop you there, because a guy like Jared Walsh coming on to the scene and in the way he has this year, I don't know if that's something that they fully accounted for, because
Walsh is a luxury.
What's that?
He's a luxury. He's hey, look what we found. I'm talking about Trout
Jared
and Ohtani.
Walsh, Shohei Ohtani, and Mike Trout are responsible for over fucking 85% of their offensive production until Upton started swinging it well. And
isn't it crazy that we talk about the Angels' offense and we don't even really mention Rendon? People just forget he's on the team. He got $300 million,
right?
What did he get?
280 something. No.
245.
245.
That's fucking crazy. When we talk about the Angels and hey, come on out to see the Angels, they've got X, they've got Y, they've got Z. No one fucking mentions Anthony Rendon.
Crazy.
For $245 million. Let's just say, all right, let me ask you, let's do this exercise. And I know you didn't have time to prepare for this, but $245 million goes to Anthony Rendon on a 7-year deal in the offseason going into the 2020 season.
Uh-huh.
Let's just say the Angels pass on Rendon. They don't sign Garrett Cole because he goes to the Yankees for an extra hundo. What do you think they could have done with that 245? Where could they have allocated that to put themselves in a better position right now?
Oh man, well, I mean, they could have knocked on. I don't know. They could have knocked on Robbie Ray's door a little earlier before.
Robbie Ray just chucking 97, by the way.
Before Toronto did. I mean, again, Toronto. It was
What about Ryu? When did the Blue Jays sign Ryu? Was that going into 20?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, Hyun-Jin Ryu is just the unsung hero of Major League Baseball in terms of pitching. The guy gets no credit for being one of the best of the best, but he is. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and rarely is anyone singing his praises. If Ryu ended up in Anaheim, that's a huge step forward because not only do you get one of the great pitchers in baseball, you're not spending nearly what you fucking spent on Rendon.
No.
You still get even more to spend. You get an ace plus more spending money.
And what about? I mean, and this is hindsight, but what about Taijuan Walker?
Yeah, I mean, like the Mets.
That's the
like the
that's
Mets
the risk.
Jays era of Walker is obviously what you're hoping to get. I would have. Yeah, sure. Yep.
But I mean, it feels like when I throw that Walker thing out there, that's kind of the Bundy acquisition when they made that acquisition. It was like, hey, we're kind of thinking that same thing, like throwing the ball well at this point in time. We like what we see. Let's lock this up.
For the record, Anthony Rendon is hitting 240 with a 679 OPS. He's played 44 games, 188 plate appearances. He's in his age 31 season. So, I mean, they get out from the Pujols contract. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not willing to say that Rendon is going to be a disaster.
Hear it in your voice. I can see the smile on your face. I know what you feel in that heart of yours right now.
I'm not willing to say
but you want to
that
say
Rendon is going to be a disaster based off of what did I say, 44 games this year?
Uh-huh. You want to say
the rest of the contract. But I mean, you look at what he's owed. They're paying him $28 million this year. Next year,
Jared,
36.
Jared.
Then it's 38.5.
Carrabis.
38.5 through the next fucking 4 years after that.
Jared.
Like, oh my God.
Do you have the balls, Jared? Do you have the fucking balls right now to say that the Anthony Rendon Anaheim contract will closely mirror that of an Albert Pujols Anaheim contract? Do you have the fucking balls as you sit here today just absolutely lambasting Rendon's production thus far as an Angel? Because you make some valid points, Jared. You bring up the age. The production doesn't look like it's on the uptick, right? I mean, these are just things you're saying that I'm wondering if you have the balls to definitively stand by. That's all.
Let me see what Albert's I want to see what Albert's OPS was as an Angel, and then I'll tell you whether or not I think Rendon's OPS will be higher as an Angel than Albert's. So in 10 years with the Angels, Albert Pujols, guess what his OPS was?
Man, I'm going to say, I don't want to disrespect him, but I also don't want to be completely wrong. Oh, God, Carrabis.
You're going to way overshoot it just because you want to blow Albert here, but let's get an honest answer.
What was it? Like 920?
No. Part of me. I think it starts with a 7. Part of me thinks it starts with a 7.
It does. It does.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna go. I'll go 760 because it's north of 750. And
You're very close. 758.
Oh,
almost right in the head there. 758. So if the question is,
oh man,
do I have the balls? Anthony Rendon's Angels OPS is 807. Do I have the balls to say that Anthony Rendon's OPS with the Angels, when it's all said and done, will be lower than 758? Oh, man. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
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 Awfully ballsy, Rocket.
Yeah, I think when we look back, and that's not to say I think that's not to say that Rendon's contract will be worse than Pujols's. I think that
it's hard not to say. It's hard not to hear you saying that right now, Jared.
I mean, OPS isn't the end all be all.
No, but it's a strong indicator of what you've been able to do collectively. And
offensively.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Pujols is giving you nothing defensively. I mean, there's other ways that he can contribute.
I was going to say,
but they didn't give him 245 to fucking scoop grounders. I know that.
No, they sure didn't. 245 is not because he's a defensive wizard over there at the hot corner. And that's not telling you that he's not. He's a damn good third baseman. Guy's fucking awesome. But, Jared, I'm just playing this over in my head correctly. If his OPS is going to be worse than Albert's, and contract money, Albert got a lot. Rendon got a lot too, but he's not going to be as. Yeah, I got you thinking that Rendon is going to be worse for the Angels than Pujols. That's tough.
I think that's fair. You know what the factor here that I weighed the heaviest though is everyone talks about Rendon as a dude that like he's just good at baseball. He doesn't love baseball. Like he doesn't he doesn't get amped up for it. Like Pujols was motivated by his failures. I feel like Rendon might be a guy that's like, shit, I don't got it anymore. You know, and that definitely counts for something. If people are doubting it, like say Rendon has a shit year this year, do you think it's gonna eat him alive this offseason? To like get in the gym and work twice as hard and whatever, and like look at his swing, get in the cage, and
that's something that I think only people that are close to him can assess from an outsider's perspective, based on the things that have been said or that we know about him, his cool, calm, collected demeanor. Yeah. I can understand why those might be indicators for people saying, "Well, I just don't know how invested he really is in being great." You know, well, that might be the case. He might not necessarily have that wake up at 5 and run in the rain kind of drive, but that's not to say that the work that he does put in isn't hard work, isn't smart work, and isn't work where he's trying to be the best he can possibly be. With that being said, I can understand why the motivation could be called into question when a guy kind of tells you, like, hey, you know, like I love the game, doesn't consume me. It's not what defines me.
Where are you on this?
And in terms of,
do you think his Angels OPS, when it's all said and done, will it be north or south of Albert Pujols?
I too think it'll be south.
You do?
I mean, are we putting Albert and Rendon in the same category as far as power production is concerned at any point in time in their careers?
No. Well, I mean, he hits a lot of doubles, so I think like the OPS could be saved in that regard. But I think the caveat that we need to add here is if he completes his Angels contract. Like I could see,
you could see him getting moved.
Yeah, if he's
moved. But does it become like a Kyle Seager thing where they're like, nobody's taking him, so you know what I mean? You remember when they were talking about shopping Seager and they were like, well, that's a contract that we just can't move.
Right. Could be.
Yeah, tough.
The Angels just never fucking learn. They really don't. They're just like, all right, we finally got out from under this bad contract. Who else can we sign to a bad contract? It's been going on since like the fucking early 2000s.
What did we just get rid of? Position player contract that was really taking up a roster spot, didn't allow us really any flexibility whatsoever, not much production. What do we need? We need pitching. We need a lot of help pitching. All right. How's 240 sound to a third baseman right now?
A 31-year-old third baseman.
Fucking love it. Let's go. Let's not gonna
lock that shit up.
That should be totally fine.
Get his agent on the phone. What's his fucking grandmother's number? We need to break the news to her.
Oh,
Little
man.
Tony's gonna be an angel.
I guess you could say the Angels just don't ever learn.
Oh! Ho, ho! The Braves, my World Series pick is not looking good right now.
No, it's not.
I know we got a lot of Braves fans that listen to Starting Nine. We appreciate all you guys.
If there is a consolation series, Jared, strong odds. What's
strong odds?
What's going on right now? 4
they're
games
not winning
under
at
500
home.
mark?
Yeah. They are. They're 3 games under 500. They're 5 games back of the Mets, which just kind of like goes to show how iffy that division is. If you can be 3 games under 500 and 5 games back of first place, but they've been mediocre at home. They haven't been good on the road. they've scored more runs than any team in the division by a wide margin. The pitching has been what's failed them. So when you talk about the Marcell Ozuna thing,
losing Inoa early on,
that losing hurt. Soroka.
Well, yeah, Soroka obviously.
Like they have hurt because of their pitching. I know that they brought back Shane Green. It's like throwing a fucking cup of water at a burning building, where it's like, help out the bullpen a little bit.
Chuck Moe, not so much, right? I think he's
not been good.
He hasn't been good. I don't think his numbers are terrible.
I want to say he was hovering around a 5 the last time I checked.
4.5, 5?
4.5. 4.5 even, yeah.
Okay. Quality start, Jared. Quality start.
It is a quality start, yeah. But I mean, the pitching has disappointed, I think, more so than most of us would have anticipated. I mean, obviously, I don't think that anyone – it's always in the back of your mind with the injury that Soroka had, that there could be some bumps in the road. But bumps in the road, to me, in regards to that injury, did not really – like, I didn't factor in that he could be gone for the year again. Well, and I thought that Max Fried, after the year that he had last year, was going to come back this year and either take a step forward. I mean, he had 2.25 last year with the 50 strikeouts and 56 innings. I thought he was either going to take a step forward or hover around where he was last year, and then essentially his ERA has doubled. He's got a 4.62. He's still punching guys out, but there's a lot of traffic. He's basically allowing like a runner and a half per inning. Like, he's getting hit more. He went from 6.8 hits per 9 last year to 9.8 this year. The strikeouts somehow have gone up. The walks are the same. So it's mostly he's just getting hit more. He's not like the traffic allowed is from guys getting knocks, not from him giving up the free passes. So that has hurt a lot, and that, you've lost a couple of guys that when healthy were helping you out, and then the guys that have stayed healthy are not helping you out.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I mean, Ian Anderson, the lone bright spot.
Ian Anderson's been great.
Aside from that, it's been a struggle for the Bravos. And
yeah, it's been a struggle, but I'm not willing to. I know that kind of where this conversation goes from here is like, do we hit the panic button?
Yeah. What else you got? Why would you?
I don't hit the panic button.
Let me ask you that. Okay, why are you
yet.
not hitting the panic button then? Let me ask you that. It doesn't have to be. Just give me something. Give me one reason why we're not right now. Because you're 5 out, right? If we're the Atlanta Braves, we're 5 out. My one thing, the solace I take here is that this division is, at this point in time, still competitive enough where if you're the Braves and you can get some guys in that rotation to string 2 good weeks together, then you might be right back in the mix.
Yep.
That's.
I think that they're in the mix at 5 out, third place. I still think that they're in the mix there.
Let's not. We cannot sleep on what the fucking Mets are doing, dude. You can't.
Oh, I'm not sleeping on the Mets. I think I'm more just. I am cognizant of their ability to, or I guess inability to run away with this division.
The Mets.
They're not a high-scoring team. Like, they're not. Like, the Mets have arguably the worst, and they do. It's not even arguable. They have the worst offense in the division, like including the last place Nationals. The Mets have the worst offense in the division, and we haven't mentioned the Phillies at all. They've been hot. They've won 4 straight. Got to give respect to the Phillies. It's been a turnaround year of sorts. They're a game above 500, but it's a weak ass division. And I think with the Braves, the Braves have almost scored 100 more runs than the Mets. 100 fucking runs, Dallas. If they can just pitch a little bit, so the why I'm not panicking about the Braves is because some of the guys that we've talked about, Max Fried, Charlie Morton, they're not as bad as they've pitched this year.
Right.
So if you can just get, when you get Inoa back healthy.
I said 2 weeks, Jared. Give me 2 turns in a rotation with these dudes. And it's a different
story. They can't
story.
do it just what they've got. I think they've got to go out and get someone. I mean, the deadline, we're talking like a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
They need help from outside, but they need the guys that they've got to be the fucking back of the baseball card. They haven't even gotten that. Like, all you need is just a little bit of halfway decent pitching, and I genuinely believe that the Braves can still win this division. I do, because that offense is that much better than everyone else's. Just pitch halfway decent, and you've got yourself, if not a first-place team, then a team that's knocking on the door of first place, just because, you can't bank on the Mets pitching to be perfect. Like, they need to be perfect to win baseball games. With the offense that the Braves have, their pitching doesn't have to be perfect. They're built similarly to the Red Sox, where
the Braves got the power. They've got the most home runs out of anybody in the National League. They've got the ability to score. I think they've scored like the second or third most runs. Have they not in the National League? They have the ability to out offense their opponent, and that's why I said the one thing for them is to figure out what's going on with the staff, the starters. Give me 2 good turns. I just don't know if that is, and you kind of made this point, if that's possible with what they have right now. There is going to be a need to go and get somebody, but I think as quickly as we say that, Chuck Moe, Fried, those 2 dudes turn stuff around, we're singing a different tune. We really are.
Definitely. And I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. Like, those are 2, like, we're not talking about like 2 dudes
just gotta
that are
happen
in their
now. That's why I said the
full
panic
year
button.
in the big leagues.
Like, we gotta go, boys. We gotta go now.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta go now because and this is something we know as players. If you continue to play this way, you're gonna play one of your friends right off your team, which means you're hanging around, not doing enough to make a push. Well, they're going to replace somebody in that clubhouse. Yeah. They're going to go and get somebody, which means one of your friends is going to take a hike. Right. So
I think that the most likely scenario is that Max Fried snaps out of it, because he had a dog shit April, and then he had the injury. And then when in May, outstanding. In 4 starts in May, Max Fried allowed 1 homer. He had a 1.50. Opponents were hitting 183 off of him, 532 OPS. He punched out 20 batters in 24 innings. And then he had a shit start to start June. June 1st, he gives up 4. Next time out against the Dodgers, 1 earned run in 6 innings. And then a pretty decent start his last time out. 3 earned in 6 innings against the Marlins. So, you could make the case that he's turned that corner. I mean, really what sticks out to you is the 4 earned against the Nats to open up the month. But if you go back over his last 7 starts, which is basically you take out April, you go from his first start of May through now, 7 starts, 2.72. The overall numbers are just that bad because of the fucking 7 earned runs he gave up to the Marlins and the 5 earned runs he gave up to the Nats in his second and third starts of the year. So he's been better. It's just I'm going to need more consistency from him, because the 3 2/3, 4 earned against the Nats to start the month, that kind of was like, oh, are we going back to April Fried? Is this April Fried or is this May Fried?
Right.
Because May Fried was really fucking good. You got a May Fried start on June 6th against the Dodgers. And then you got something in between against the Marlins his last time out. So I would be hesitant to say the Braves are in trouble, because I think Max Fried is a guy that can help right the ship. Chuck Morton's got to contribute. You've got to get guys healthy, and you've got to make an addition at the trade deadline, because this offense is too good to be like, fuck, we're out of it. No. As long as they can get decent pitching, they're still in it. Yeah. Especially with the rest of the division playing the way that they have.
And I feel like there's some similarities there between the Braves and the Cardinals, who are also
fucked,
riding the struggle bus right now. 1-9.
They're fucked.
1-9 over their last 10. They've lost 8 of their last 10. They got a -29 run differential, 5 out in the Central. On a scale of 1 to concerned, how concerned are we?
A 9. I'm very concerned about the Cardinals.
I'm concerned. We've got Jack Flaherty down, and that was the bright spot. John Gant throwing the ball well. Waino. I think Waino not doing too bad. Not terrible. I think he was sitting at like right around a 4, I think. 12 or 13 games started. But the offense has been sparse.
It's been bad.
It's not been great. You and I have been paying attention to the home run race between Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah. What's that? I think Goldie's like 4 or 5 behind him, right?
Yeah, it's not good. But since May 30th, because we're about to get into the D-backs and how fucking bad they are. Mm-hmm. But since May 30th, just throw a number out. What do you think the Cardinals are hitting as a team? Because I mean, the rotation is obviously like a big concern.
I'm gonna since May 30th as a team, 202.
The Cardinals as a team are hitting 219 with a 648 OPS. That's 25th in Major League Baseball. They have lost 11 out of their last 13 games. That is the worst record in baseball, next to the Diamondbacks, who are barely a Major League franchise. The Pirates have a better record than the Cardinals.
You're damn right.
Since May 30th.
Look, they just haven't gotten much out of DeYoung. Dude's hitting under 200 right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some injuries with guys that have come up. They've tried to plug in Justin Williams. He's hurt. It just hasn't been. It hasn't been an offense that like scares you at any point in time, and that's the problem. That's the problem, Jared. There's just like you got Goldie, you got Arenado, and you feel like there's some guys in between that should be scaring you, guys that should be able to build innings. I talk a lot about building innings because of the roster construction and the lineup construction for the Oakland A's. And it feels like the St. Louis Cardinals, they've got the pieces in there to build innings, put some good at-bats together, but it just isn't happening. I mean, they don't have any. I think Dylan Carlson is the leader on the team with an OBP of 341. That's your young guy. It's your young fella, young rookie. And it's just not there.
O'Neal's been hitting the shit out of the ball, though.
Yeah, what's he got? Doesn't he lead he leads the team in homers, doesn't he?
Probably. I feel like every time I fucking look up, he's hitting a homer. Over this tough stretch, he's the only one hitting over 300. Since May 30th, he's hitting 319 with a 990 OPS. Then you got Nolan hitting 267 with a 713. Carlson's hitting 245 with a 776. Goldie's hitting 227 with a 752. Ugh. It's not good. Like those are the names that, like you said, should be scaring you. Mm-hmm. And
they're not.
No one is.
Nope. And like I told you at the start of it, aside from Flaherty and Gant, there's not much else going down on the mound that excites you either. Carmart rocking a 5.5. Like it's just they're just not getting much help really from anywhere.
No. It's bad. This guy, I mean, Waino has actually been okay during this stretch. He's got a 3.21 over there. What is it? What did I say? They were fucking 2-11.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah, Waino's been good. Flaherty's got a 3.6 in one start. He's obviously out. Your boy Gant, 3 starts and 9.26.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Martinez,
just a rough
3
patch.
starts. He's got an 11.57.
Just a rough patch. They got some things to work through. Speaking of things to work through, the Diamondbacks.
I don't think they need to work through anything. They need to work through how to make time pass a little bit quickly.
The Diamondbacks need to figure out how to play the rest of their games at home. Because they don't win baseball games on the road. That's just something
they don't win
they
baseball
don't do.
Games, period. Yep.
Well, they've struggled to win baseball games at all. You're absolutely right. But they have lost.
Have they still not won a game on the road since the the Mad Bum 7-inning no-hitter?
Correct. 19 straight.
19 straight losses on the road?
Yes.
The Diamondbacks.
Second worst run differential in baseball, -73.
You know what's crazy? They've lost, what'd you say, 19 straight on the road?
Mm-hmm.
They still have almost twice as many wins on the road as the Colorado Rockies.
Wow.
The Diamondbacks are 9-27 on the road. The Rockies are 5-27 on the road.
That's a hang with them.
Yeah. D-backs have lost 10 straight overall. Not great.
It's
great.
It's the worst win percentage as it sits today in organization history.
The D-backs?
Yes.
Nah.
308. Their win percentage right now of 308 would be the worst in franchise history. It would be the fourth worst by any baseball team since 2000, since the turn of the century. It's not a good brand of baseball, kind of like all the way around.
They score runs, though, a little bit.
Yeah, well, clearly not enough.
They definitely don't score enough. I'll agree with that your stance that they don't score enough runs. But they're not a team that you're watching and being like, oh, my God, they don't know how to fucking... They've scored more runs than the Cardinals this year. They've scored more runs than the Brewers this year. First place.
Yeah, that come on.
They've scored more runs than the Mets. They've scored more runs than the Phillies.
They're just not scoring more runs when they need to, Jared, which is every day.
Yeah, they've scored more runs than the Indians. They've scored more runs than the Yankees, Dallas.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, they have.
Oh,
yes,
man.
they have.
You hate to see that.
The 20-46 Arizona Diamondbacks have scored more runs than the Savages and the Box.
Who has scored the least amount of runs in baseball? Who's the fog machine? Who's the smoke and mirrors show?
That would be
a team in the
New York
NL
Mets.
East. Who is it?
The Mets.
Wow.
Every
How many
team
runs?
has scored more runs than the Mets. They've scored 219 runs.
That's
not sustainable, is it?
Where are my Pittsburgh Pirates at?
They're next.
No. It's all right, Buccos. Hang in there. Hang in there. It's all right. We're almost to July. Maybe there's some moves to be made. Who knows, Jared?
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I'm not worried. Surprisingly enough, no one gives them any fucking credit for it, but the Tampa Bay Rays are third in baseball in runs scored.
Third?
Yeah, you've got Houston, the Dodgers, and then the Tampa Bay Rays.
The Tampa Bay Rays they just feel like a nameless machine that just plays baseball.
Yeah.
And
they're a baseball team.
Good baseball team. They're a good baseball club.
The Tampa Bay Rays are a good baseball club. They don't have guys, but they've got guys.
They got dudes.
If that makes sense.
For sure. They got
They
dudes.
don't have guys, but they've got fucking guys. We're the Tampa Bay Rays. Also, I don't know what your schedule is. Are you doing the A's game tonight?
I am.
Okay, so you will not be around to lubricate yourself for the pitching matchup of the week. Yeah. It's Glasnow versus Lance Lynn. It's me versus you.
It is. That's exactly what it is. Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when's that kickoff? 4?
That is at 8:10 Eastern. So
okay, 5
for you.
all right, I got an hour and a half-ish before my game kicks off.
I mean, these two, not just like the two pitchers. I mean, obviously
squads.
Glasnow blows him out of the water in strikeouts because he's just a fucking sex god. But these two teams, the Tampa Bay Rays come in at 42-24. The White Sox come in at 41-24. The
juggernauts of the AL.
The White Sox are a half game back of the Rays for the best record in the American League, I'm assuming. They would have to be.
At what point in time, seriously, at what point in time do we stop?
For the best record in baseball, the Chicago White Sox are a half game back of the Tampa Bay Rays for the best record in baseball. Anyways, what were you saying?
At what point in time do we stop to really give the Chicago White Sox credit for what they've done?
I give them a ton of credit. I mean, I think they're the only team in baseball with a run differential that's north of 100. They're at plus 106. The Dodgers are plus 91. So, I mean, they're kind of in their own stratosphere right now.
They've lost a third of their lineup. They're doing it without a third of their lineup.
Yeah.
And it's not just three guys that play a little.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at, is these dudes have, I mean, they haven't looked back. Where was this team's mindset when they were going through these injuries? They had Eloy Jimenez's jersey in the dugout.
Well, rest in peace.
For, remembrance.
Yeah.
Guys got a torn
Nick Madrigal being on the 60-day IL, I feel like people didn't – we'll talk about that a little bit later, but, I don't think enough was made about that. It's just one thing after another for the White Sox, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just keep winning ball games. And then they do.
We'll just keep doing it.
And they have been.
That's why
I feel like, is it the market that no one wants to give them credit? It's not because no one thinks that what they're doing is legit or not. I mean, what they're doing is very legit.
Set. I know exactly why nobody wants to give him credit.
It's because of White Sox Dave. I feel like no one cares about the team because of White Sox Dave. I wouldn't care about that team if I was like, that's your guy, that's your fan representative.
I think,
I think he's an organizational deterrent. He's off-putting, and that's why people don't like the White Sox. I love the White Sox because I ignore White Sox Dave.
He's off-putting. Huge friend zone guy, that White Sox Dave.
He gives off the most friend zone vibes of all time. That's what makes me uncomfortable, really, is how comfortable he is in the friend zone.
And I think it's that, and it's the fact that people just don't want to see Tony La Russa ride this young group and their coattails to success. It's like hardball. Like when Keanu Reeves, he takes over the team, and then he's kind of like a little fucking hard ass, and then he kind of adjusts, and then he becomes the cool coach. That's what Tony La Russa has done with the White Sox. Mm-hmm. It's like, you got to adjust. If things are going to change around here, it's going to be you, not us. Yeah, and so it honestly, Jared, each and every day, it feels like I'm getting closer and closer to settling in to my. I don't know if it'll be unanimous at this point.
Oh, God.
I don't know if it's going to be unanimous. Hey, tell me right now. Look me in the eye right now. Look me in the eye. Yeah, you know, bitch. You know.
If the season ended today, who would win American League Manager of the Year? It would probably be Tony La Russa. Yeah,
goddamn right it would be.
Yeah,
goddamn right.
But it would be so bullshit.
Why?
It would be so bullshit.
Why?
Because the only reason why he would win is because other guys got hurt. He would win because of the storyline.
His stewardship. That's what it takes, Jared. You've got to have a veteran at the helm right there to be able to weather this kind of storm.
They would have won. They would have won anyway. It's not like Tony La Russa was like, "All right, guys, we need to buckle down. All these guys are hurt. We need to focus." He didn't give some fucking rah-rah speech. I feel like giving Tony La Russa the Manager of the Year takes away from what the players were able to accomplish given the circumstances. They didn't succeed because of fucking Tony La Russa. He just happened to be in the driver's seat at the time.
Hey, it doesn't matter if they're winning in spite of or because of, okay? Those wins taste.
I don't think it's either. I think they're
just the
just
same.
blindly like, hey, we're really fucking good. Let's go out and play baseball and win ball games. And that's what they do.
And having a manager that has allowed
yeah.
you to adopt that mindset,
That's
that
what it
right there,
is.
I mean, Jared, that's why guys, certain guys play chess and other guys play checkers, Jared.
Yeah.
That's on, you
Is
know?
that what he's doing?
Well,
He's playing
I don't know.
checkers?
Right now,
Is he
it looks
playing chess?
like old fucking TLR sitting across from Bobby Fischer, ready to make a fucking move. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I think the one thing that was cool was that, like, what did he become, like, the second winningest manager in baseball history? And, like,
Yeah.
they asked him about it, and he didn't want to comment on it because he was like, it'll take away from the win, take away from the boys. I
Yep.
was like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's so like I'm glad you brought that up because that was a wonderful opportunity for Tony La Russa to go, hey, look, all the bullshit that you think I've been telling you that's bullshit about how you go about your business, how you handle things, how you interact, how you do things. I know you guys have been looking at me telling me that it's old school and I'm a dinosaur and enjoy yourself, whatever. Newsflash, boys. I'm not going to be number one because Connie Mack managed 1 million fucking baseball games. So I'm not going to be number one. But there's a really solid chance there ain't going to be another motherfucker better than me when it's all said and done. And you know what that means? That means that in a moment in time where I have every right, every reason, and every freedom to celebrate my greatness, my longevity, my staying power, I'm going to choose not to because what you guys are doing right now is the real story. And whether or not Tony believes all of that or not, the fact that he says it, the fact that in that moment where he could be blowing himself and tasting himself, he's decided to hand you a different ice cream cone with a different flavor on it. Here, enjoy this. This has got all 26 guys on the White Sox. This other cone, it's just an old crusty TLR cone. You don't want that. You want this pale hose cone right now. That's a big move. As much as you might not want to give it credit.
I gave him credit.
Well, sure, but that's where now he looks in that clubhouse and says, you see, you sons of bitches, you want to fucking pop your home run chain? You want to? I'm the greatest ever, and I could give a shit. I told that reporter to go shit in his hat. This ain't about me. It's about you. Go get him, Tony.
I feel like okay. I mean, I'm no longer in the camp of like, oh, there's no fucking way. Like, what a terrible pick. But it's only because of predicting how the voters will vote, not because of who's the most deserving.
Right. Oh, no. If this were a race to a finish line for Manager of the Year, Tony La Russa started off by setting himself on fire and running in the opposite direction. Like that. And now here he is, like many links ahead of everybody else, just fucking striding it out.
Yeah, he really is. Good for him. Good for the White Sox. Good for the White Sox. This will be a good series. This could have some ALCS,
some ALCS
vibes to it.
Yeah. Wow. So that means you've already kind of. Oh. Good effort, Sox. Good effort.
No, I mean, I can acknowledge better teams.
Yeah,
I can acknowledge who the better teams are. Upsets do be happening in baseball. Shout out to Arkansas. That was tough. NC State though, congrats.
We're not a college baseball podcast here. We don't need to talk about college baseball. It's not.
Yeah, I was upset. I mean, I love Arkansas. Arkansas, it really felt like this could have been the year. I don't need to get into it.
Felt like it should have been the year.
Felt like it should have been the year, yeah. Yeah, we don't need to get into it. But sorry to Arkansas fans. Congrats to NC State fans. Congrats to the grounds crew because you guys have a fucking great promo code coming up with Dugout Mugs. Dugout Mugs makes baseball bat beer mugs, bottle openers, wine glasses, and they're giving away their MLB knob shot glasses.
This thing is fucking outstanding.
I got it right here.
I've been wearing this. I've been wearing this thing out. I got a few.
If you're watching on the Starting 9 YouTube channel, this is what it looks like. This is what the shot glass looks like.
Yeah. So what I've been doing on the days off is We'll pick a game. We'll pick ABs, and just predicting the at bat, predicting the pitch calling. So you get one AB, and I don't fill the glass up all the way because that's a full shot. And for the game, this game does carry on throughout multiple innings. And if you get the pitch wrong, drink.
Ooh.
So, what do you think he's going to start him off with here? Curveball? You got him starting him off with a curveball? All right. If he starts him off with a fastball, you got to drink. Boom. And by the end of the at-bat, okay, by the end of the AB, you're ready to roll. That's just
Are you doing shots of beer or shots of liquor?
Liquor. But that's why I said half. Half a guy. Because you get through an AB, and maybe it's like 2 shots, 3 shots, you know?
That's a lot. I feel like beer shots. I mean, you could play that for a whole game and do beer shots and still get pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could. But, Jared, you got to remember, I'm the dude who was playing Flip Cup with Jameson.
Yeah, you're a weirdo.
So the shot glasses from Dugout Mugs help you facilitate all kinds of fun while you're watching baseball. What'd you say?
Yeah.
1 ounces? That's what
they hold 1 ounce of your favorite liquor in the handle of a baseball bat. They usually sell for about $29, but right now you can get one delivered to your door for $8.95.
Way cheaper.
All you got to do is go to dugoutmugs.com/starting9. And no one likes doing shots alone, so grab a couple for you, for your friends. Father's Day, right around the corner. Grab some for Dad, the whole deal. You can use the promo code starting9 to get 30% off. MLB team Dugout Mugs wind-ups, the season openers at dugoutmugs.com. Check them out. That's 30% off when you use the promo code starting9. And also, you want that 1 ounce shot glass that is a baseball knob. You go to dugoutmugs.com/starting9. We're bringing back Show 'em some love.
Get knobbed up. Ooh, I like it.
Bringing it back.
You want me to start? Can I start?
If you would like to.
Who do you think I'm going to talk about here?
We'll go tit for tat. We'll go back and forth.
Who do you think I'm going to talk about here?
Matt Olson.
You're absolutely fucking correct. You're really good at this game, Jared. You are really good at this game. Over the last 15 days for Matt Olson, 44 at-bats, 19 knocks. He scored 12 runs, 15 RBIs. The dude's hitting .432, OBP north of 500, your first baseman. An OPS of 1386, 5 long balls. 2 of those came yesterday. Matt Olson, as we set today right now, and somebody said this, I don't know how much truth there is to this. I saw it on the internet, which makes me want to believe it 100%. Has Vlad Guerrero, does he got enough games under his belt as a first baseman to
qualify
the first baseman on the All-Star ballot?
I think so.
I thought so.
I don't know how that works.
I
don't think
that
there's
felt very weird.
I don't think that there's like a qualifier the same way that there would be for like the batting title.
Yeah, that was weird. So in the event that is the case, sorry, hang with him, Vlad. We could use a DH. Matt Olson's your starting first baseman. In the event that that's not the case, I think that's Vlad's starting position to lose at this point. But that's another guy who has been white hot, Jared, and I'll let you speak on what Vlad has done, him and that wagon.
Thank you. I love for anyone listening at home. Dallas did not show me his notes, and I did not show Dallas my notes, but I just said, all right, Dallas, you go with Matt Olson, and he was prepared to do Matt Olson, and he was like, all right, now you do Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and I was also prepared to do Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over his last 11 games, or basically since the start of June 1st, he's hitting .447. He's getting on base at a .543 clip. He's slugging .947 with a major league leading 1491 OPS. He's homered in 5 games.
Slugging .947?
He's slugging .947.
That's doing work. That's doing fucking
He's got
work.
2 doubles.
And what
he even has a triple, by the way.
Really? Get them cakes moving, baby.
He's got a triple. He's got 5 homers, and he's knocked in 13 runs in those 11 games.
Yeah, and he's hit, 3 homers in the last 3 games as well?
He's hit homers in 3 straight games, all against Red Sox pitching.
Good God. Jared, we would be remiss if we did not mention.
He's hitting .636 with a oh my God. He's hitting .636 with a 2260 OPS against the Red Sox in this series. He's
fuck.
7 for 11. He's 7 for 11 with
Jared,
3 homers and a double.
We need to end the podcast now so you can get over to wherever the hell those boys are staying and make sure Vlad does not get out of his hotel room.
Yeah.
Like if Vlad even lands at Logan, I feel like that becomes a 2 for 4 day.
Yeah. I actually so Friday was the first day that they allowed people back on the field for batting practice.
And did you get to go down there?
Yep. So I went down there, and I don't know why. I feel like no one from there was no media down there for Blue Jays BP. So it's just me and the Baby Jays. We were just down there.
Do they not know who's in that fucking lineup?
That's what I'm saying. Like there was one Red Sox reporter that was down there for Blue Jays BP, and he was waiting for someone on the Red Sox. There was no one there on the field besides me and the security people.
I'm trying to watch Rowdy Tellez drop some fucking diesel.
Yeah, that was it. It was me and the security guards watching BP. I got to catch up with Bo. And then I was like, find me the best angle to watch that ass in the cage. And I went up there. I was watching Vladdy just hit absolute fucking tanks. And the home run that he hit on Sunday, like he was working on that in batting practice. Like when you watch Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and his highlights when he's hitting homers throughout ballparks across America, he's pulling homers, he's going to center. But he was working on kind of like slicing homers into the bullpens in right center. And then he did that. He did that on Sunday. He was working on that in BP.
Well, what
round?
What
those
round,
cheeks were all over the place.
What round that was in?
It was second to last. Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool to get down there and see those guys do what they do. But yeah, that's Vladdy. Who else you got?
I'm thinking about a dude out in Birdland.
Oh, because I was gonna say him as well.
Mm-hmm. Old Ced.
Yeah.
Cedric Mullins has been on fire as well.
Yeah.
He's hitting .450. He himself has an on-base percentage north of 500.
Well, if you go back to May 30th, if you go beyond just this month, he's hitting .455 since May 30th with the 510 OBP and the 1351 OPS.
It's great to see somebody like that in Baltimore. Like honestly, who was the last? Like I gotta watch this dude play. Like I've got to watch this guy play. Like he's got an at bat coming up. I'm gonna watch it.
In Baltimore.
Larry
Larry Bigby.
Bigby.
Yep.
Larry
that guy was fucking can't miss.
Is it?
I mean, it was obviously Machado.
Machado?
Yeah.
Machado and AJ?
I would say I got Machado and Bigby. Or Melvin Mora.
Stop it.
Melvin Mora was good. I will not tolerate
I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'm not. Are you asking me to believe right now that you're stopping on your way from one room to another because Melvin fucking Mora is at the dish?
Melvin Mora was. I mean, if you're talking like this, then you're obviously someone that didn't watch a whole lot of Melvin Mora. I did.
Oh, I had plenty of Melvin Mora.
Melvin Mora led the league in on-base percentage in 2004, okay?
That's fine.
He was an all-star in 2005. He was an all-star in 2003. He hit 317, 340. He hit 340 in fucking 2004?
And he was can't miss for you, wasn't he?
He had a 981 OPS. People forget how good Melvin Mora was.
You forgot how good Melvin Mora was until just
I forgot
now.
how good Melvin. Yeah, I didn't think he hit 340, but goddamn, how do you hit 340 in 2004 and not win the goddamn batting title? Who hit higher than 340 that year?
Yeah, I don't know. In what year? 04?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who? I don't know. Who did? That's funny.
The batting champion. Oh, it was Ichiro. He hit. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, I remember that. He hit 372. So the connection to Baltimore. Was that the year that he broke George Sisler's record? Yeah, right?
Ichiro's?
Ichiro broke Sisler's record for the most hits in a single season. He had 262 hits that year. And he hit 372. I was in Baltimore. It was the Red Sox last series of the season before the regular season ended. They were in Baltimore, and they stopped. They didn't stop the game, but it was in between innings, and they put Ichiro's at bat on the big board to show him breaking Sisler's record. So I saw Ichiro breaks Sisler's record on the big board in Baltimore in 2004. And he won the batting title that year.
Well, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Good times.
What else we got here?
I got one more.
Who do you got? Talk to me.
We mentioned him earlier. Max Stassi.
Stas! Yes!
Max
Yes.
Stassi is he's gone off this month. He's also slugging 909 this month. He's in 424. On bases at 472. He's slugging 909, 1381 OPS. He's driven in 10 runs in his last 10 games, in which the Angels are 8-2. He's hit 4 homers. He's got 4 doubles. Got to get those walks up. He's only walked a couple times.
He's backstop. He's not going to necessarily put the peepers on you. He's trying to get up there and get.
He's trying to get bat the ball.
Right.
He's not trying to see
out
ball
under his
four.
belt, do some damage. Max Stassi. It's so good. I can't wait to see him today. I've
tell him that I showed him some love on this podcast.
I will let him know that. I've told this story before about Max Stassi being put in the doghouse. Have I not?
No, I don't think so.
I think I've told the story. If you're listening to this right now, I implore you to turn on the A's-Angels game this evening, or at least at some point in time during this series, because Max Stassi was a young ball player and in big league camp with us, and him being from Northern California, myself being from Northern California, neighboring cities, or close cities anyway, we understand the area code back and forth, the respect that occurs. I, being from the 209, Max Stassi being from the 530, known as the Dirty 530. One day before stretch, Stassi is kind of running his mouth, talking shit. Not in a bad way. When I say running his mouth, I mean we're just bantering, having a good time. And he says something about the 209, like, "Oh, not from the 209 or that shithole or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, Stas, buddy, I don't think you understand what you've just done to yourself." So, what Stas came across the very next day when he came into the ballpark, Jared, and you got to remember, young catchers early on in spring training, they're getting to the yard super early to get their bodies ready, look at video, go catch early, work bullpens, shit like that. So Stassi shows up very early. I was already there because I had our maintenance crew take a full sheet of plywood and screw it and drill it to his locker, blocking his entire locker.
This was him?
Yes, this is him.
Okay, I remember this story. I did not remember that it was him. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's Stassi. And so the whole sheet of plywood is covering his fucking locker, and I have them cut out a small doggy door. And on it, I wrote 209's Doghouse. And Max Stassi had to write, I will not disrespect the 209 51 times on a piece of paper before he went out to stretch. And the entire day, if Max Stassi was going into his locker to get anything whatsoever, he had to get on his hands and knees and crawl into his locker through the doggy door. But you couldn't get into the locker because it's only a couple feet deep or whatever. So he's basically on his hands and knees, ass hanging out of the doggy door, searching for his clothes and his cleats and his equipment and his catcher's gear and all that shit the entire
You're an
day.
asshole.
The entire day.
I remember you telling me that story. It was completely lost on me that was Max Stassi that you did that to.
Yeah, and it's because I absolutely love Maxie, and he caught my first bullpen that year in spring training, Jared, and I immediately went to Bob Melvin and said, this is the dude that will be catching me in spring training. This is our guy right here. This is the guy. Or not Bob Melvin, Bob Guerin, sorry. So this is the guy. I don't give a fuck that he's never seen A-ball. I don't care about any of that. His setup, his ability to receive. I told him my pitches, and I threw 6 of them, right? 2 fastballs, 2 sliders, 2 changeups. And then I said, all right, you call it. And I think I may have shook him once in that bullpen, and that's something you do just to get a feel for the ability to sequence with your guy. Like, are we going to be stepping together here? What do we got? And it was fucking boom, 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 boom. Like, I was blown away. I was blown away by his aptitude. And, I mean, he's got the pedigree. His father was a big league catcher. Max is a baller, dude. Max is a straight-up baller. Love that guy.
It looks like it. He's been having a nice little run in the month of June. You'll have to tell him I said hello. You'll also have to tell the listeners about Omaha Steaks because they've got a fucking killer deal for the listeners.
Trying to tell him. I'm trying to tell these people. You need the Get Out and Grill assortment package for you, for your dad, for your dad's dad, for whoever you're celebrating on Dad's Day. That's the way to go. The Get Out and Grill assortment. You go to omahasteaks.com, type in starting 9 in the search bar, and you order that Get Out and Grill assortment right now, and you're going to get it for 59% off. 59% off. Do the math. That's over half off. It includes 20 entrees. It is, Jared. I did that math right off the top of my head.
That was smart of you.
20 entrees. 20 entrees. He's guaranteed to absolutely hammer. The burgers, I've been telling you guys about the burgers since day one. The plump chicken titties, not the breaded up chicken titties, the plump, juicy chicken titties. We got sides, desserts. They got are you serious with this? 4 10-ounce butcher cut New York strips. 4 10-ounce butcher cut New York strips. 4 of them bad boys. Those strips, they're aged for 30 days. Essentially just melting in a closet somewhere, waiting for you to come out and eat it with a spoon. That's how damn good this steak is. And why is the aging process important? Because that's what gets you the tenderness. Tenderizing, yummy, Energizer Bunny. That's right. You get 4 of those damn things. 4 free New York strip burgers with your order. How about that? Shit is selling out fast, super fast, because, let's be honest, sometimes you go to the grocery store, you get locked up, there's not the meat that you wanted there, you got to make a decision, you got to make an adjustment. Well, not if you've got the Get Out and Grill assortment package. Not only was it damn near 60% off, but it's got everything you're looking for. You're not going to be stuck there in the grocer's freezer section looking for some tired-ass makeup meal on Father's Day, because you've got the Get Out and Grill assortment box. That's why. So visit omahasteaks.com. Remember, keyword starting 9, and get Dad the Get Out and Grill assortment package. Please, you will not be disappointed. You deserve a good piece of leather on Dad's Day.
Love that. They're actually really good fucking steaks. Top notch.
Phenomenal.
Kind of like the interview that we did with Ryan Weathers.
The lasty.
I would say that was a top notch interview. It was high quality.
I frankly, I get tired of interviewing these guys that just had ridiculous high school careers, ridiculous high school numbers. It just reminds me of how good I was not in high school, even though I thought it was sweet. Just not even close.
Relate. Cannot relate. Just
give it a last
checking every box. All right, Ryan Weathers.
All right, we're here with Ryan Weathers.
Give me the lefty.
San Diego
Give me the lefty.
Padres. So you're 21. You want to know the type of shit I was doing when I was 21? It wasn't pitching in the big leagues. I don't even know where to start.
In the corner of his bedroom.
Yeah, I was still living with my parents until I was like 26. So you got like 5 years to go. There's a couple different directions that I could go to start, because I don't know which experience I want to hear about more. They're both fascinating to me, but I guess I'll start with high school, because I was looking at your high school numbers and I thought it was a misprint. So for obviously, your high school numbers, I'm sure Dallas has researched them as well. But for anyone listening, this says as a junior in 2017, you had a .14 ERA and you struck out 111 batters in 49 innings. And if that wasn't enough, you hit 475 with 5 home runs and knocked in 29 runs. And then as a senior, the following year, 11-0 with a 0.09 ERA and 148 strikeouts in 76 innings. So,
and Jared, that is the minute that I looked at my bong and went, I need to step away from this, because those numbers cannot be anywhere close to being accurate right now.
And we reference this all pretty frequently. So we interviewed Rick Ankiel, and this dude threw, what was it? Nine no-hitters in 1 year in high school. And then we asked him hey, what was your best start? Or what was your favorite start? And it was a game that he threw a one-hitter, and the one hit was a little dinky, it squibbled out in front of home plate, and then he hit a walk-off home run. So it wasn't even one of the no-hitters. So when you're doing stuff like this in high school, at what point do you think hey, baseball's easy? It can't did you in your mind think at any level I'm going to continue to be this dominant, or is it just hey, maybe people around here aren't that good, or I am this? What is your thought process? That must mess with your psyche to a degree.
It was just going into every game, same concept, just throw strikes, get outs. I know usually my pitch count would be probably around 75. I would finish 7 innings and 75, 80 pitches. So it was just kind of go out there. I've just always been taught throw strikes and just get outs, and just both of those years it's throwing strikes and getting outs, and just the numbers happened.
How much of your dad, because obviously you've got pedigree, right? Dad spent quite a bit of time in the big leagues, so you've got a feel for this. But like Jared said, you're dominating and you're watching things unfold, and you're kind of assessing things what this is. For you to tell me 75, 80 pitches, I know what that means through 7 innings. Jared has an idea of what that's pure fucking domination. There's just no other way to look at that, especially with the punch-out numbers. So with the pedigree of your dad, what was the message that he was trying to send to you as he's watching you? Because he's basically putting a stallion out there against colts, and he's just watching you run laps around these fucking kids. So how was he keeping you focused on what your job was?
It's like I said, same concept as always. I think since when I was going to the field with him, when I was probably 9, 8 years old, we always worked on fastball command and throwing changeups. So up until now, changeup's still a work in progress. I was always fastball changeup, and then slider didn't come along until 2019. So it was my 3rd full year getting to throw it and learn it. But the concept was always the same, locate your fastball. And I think now it's helped me pitch now, where I know how to locate my fastball down and away and up and in, and just move the ball around.
How many no-hitters did you throw in high school? There had to have been 20.
Honestly, I have no clue.
What do you mean? You like how many? How
no.
many did you throw? Don't tell me that.
I'm being serious. I'm trying to think. I think every single one of those games, it was like I would give up like one of those squib little hits over the first baseman or third baseman. So honestly, I could not tell you like what I did at all.
All right, well, what was your most? Because as Jared told you, Rick Ankiel, 9 no-nos. What was the moment, or what was one of the games where you were able to step back and realize, like, yo, this really is unfair, and I am having so much fun shitting all over these kids' dreams. This is amazing.
I think I threw one of our games. I think actually it was a no hitter. At one of our games, it was
odd.
It was like a sub-state, kind of getting to the state tournament. We played one of my buddies is at Vanderbilt right now, Luke Murphy, and we wound up beating them 10-0. I think 5 innings, and I had 14 punch outs, and I think the only base runner that got on was an error. And then I think I picked him off at first.
What? So you still face the minimum.
Yeah, well, you still face the minimum, and he only one other dude put the ball in play. 14 fucking punch outs, 5 innings. Yeah. One guy put the ball in play. One dude.
Like, was there a moment? Like, I feel like there had to, like, almost like when we were doing live ABs in Arizona in 19 Dallas. Like, was there a moment where someone just got a hit and celebrated like they won the game?
I think we were playing earlier that year. We played one of our like rival schools, and I think they cheered on a foul ball. From what I remember, and I was on the mound. I was like, "This is awful! Like, why are they cheering? They hit a foul ball!" Like, but
that's what happened with Jared. Is these kids rolled up out in front of the RV, and we were just absolutely blowing their doors off, and then this dude like fouled the ball off. He hit it
foul ball, yeah.
Yeah, just started going ape shit. So, but I mean, did you start to realize though very quickly, like, look, I'm gonna be dominating these guys right now, and it's just a matter of time before I take that next step, and that next step was going to be Vanderbilt. You were committed to Vanderbilt, and if I'm doing the math correctly right now, and you probably would have left Vanderbilt at this point in time already. But we're talking about
this would have been my junior year. So I would have
So this is this exit.
Same class as Kumar.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, because
oh my God.
Jared, could you imagine
those three
staring
dudes
down this fucking animal right here, Ryan Weathers on them, and then
that's a tough
Walker,
weekend.
And then you got Jack Leiter. How's your fucking Tuesday going, folks?
Yeah, that's a tough weekend.
My God, bro. So what was it that said the factory, the Vanderbilt factory, that is where I need to take my game, or that is where I can take my game to the next level? Because we're going to be doing a series where we sit down and talk to the nation's top college coaches. Official visit. Keep your eyes posted. But what helped you make that decision for Vanderbilt?
Honestly, it was like a really easy decision for me. It's an hour 15 from home. So, and then Coach Corbin's a great guy, a great person. Felt like he would be like a second dad to me. And obviously his numbers can't lie. I mean, he's put out player after player. And I knew going there I'd also get a good education. I mean, thank God I didn't have to go to school at Vanderbilt and study my brains out. But no, it was just, and then all the guys going there, I played with all of them, and they loved it there too. And then we went to official visit and had a blast, and you know, it was just an easy decision for me.
So you get taken 7th overall. Like you've got options, but all your options are pretty much just like, yeah, I win either way. Like you go to Vanderbilt and you're part of arguably the greatest college rotation of all time, I would say, or you get taken in the first round by the San Diego Padres, who are building something very special that we're seeing right now is already coming to fruition. Was it different? Like, because I've seen guys get taken in the first round, but it's like, you know, I want to go higher in the first round. Like, was there ever the, I guess, thought in your mind where it's like, hey, I might go to Vandy for a year so I can be a 1-1 somewhere down the line?
I think if I would have been 2-year eligible to be drafted, you know, that would have been a thought. But I would have had to go the minimum 3 years. And, you know, obviously at that.
Because you would have been eligible for this draft if you went to college. Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously at that top right there, it was hard for me to improve on a certain amount of picks. Like, yeah, it'd be awesome to go 1-1, 1-2. But at that point, you know, you just going to the Padres, you know, San Diego was a really good spot to be. And, you know, this is what happened. And the money was there. I didn't want to make a decision based on money, but the money that got offered, you know, it just kind of life-changing money, just couldn't turn down. And so that was kind of the deciding factor going to Vanderbilt. But obviously, I would have loved to have went there. I would have got a World Series ring there, and it would have been an absolute blast. But I'm pretty happy where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you're left-handed, you're blowing upper nines. How's 5 mil sounder? Do you want to go back and do some book reports and hang out in a fucking science lab next year? Nah, go ahead and give me that fucking paycheck. Let's roll. And when that day happens, what is the feeling for you? And what is the feeling like? Talk about that day with you and your dad, because I know how important that is. Like, as a new parent, I got 2 little girls. They're probably not going to be kicking the door down to the MLB draft anytime soon. So I don't have my eyes focused there, but they're going to do great things. And for your father to have that feeling and know that, and for you to share that moment, take us through draft day. You get the phone call, and where are you at, and how does the next conversation go?
So I had an idea of like the first couple picks. Probably Casey Mize was going 1-1. I mean, he dominated college baseball that year, and he was. I mean, obviously he's in the big leagues right now. He's a advanced.
Auburn.
And then we had an idea that 2 through 6 were probably taking hitters that year, high school or college. Like one of the two, they were taking hitters. So San Diego had them and the Braves. I'd had meetings with them pretty much all winter during basketball season and all that. And I think I met with Preller and the GM for the Braves. So had a pretty good idea that one of those 2 teams were going to at least offer, and then, you know, see where we go from there. And then the Padres just called on, I think during the 5th pick, and told us that they're going to take me. And, you know, having to wait for a couple picks, those however long it is in between the time of each pick, it felt like an hour.
I know
it. So just then they got announced on TV that they picked me, and I think I went and hugged my mom first, and then after that, hugged my dad. Just all the time he had put in, you know, it was just starting to show, and it sucked at the same time because he had always been coaching me, and I knew that he wasn't going to get to coach me anymore. So that kind of sucked, but, you know, obviously now we're having a blast. I got to see him do it for a long time. It's fun now that I'm getting to do it.
So when you get taken in the first round, and you're added to that I mean, the Padres at the time, and still do, have one of the top farm systems in Major League Baseball. Did you think that your Major League debut would come as quickly as it did? Like, was there a conversation like, hey, like there is a path for you to make it to the big leagues in X amount of time if you accomplish X, Y, and Z? Or were you mentally prepared for, you know, however long it was going to take to be riding buses?
I did not in any way, shape, or form. If you had told me in 2019 in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that I would be making my debut in the division series the next year, I probably would have slapped you in the face. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it happened. I never once put a timetable. I mean, baseball is baseball. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter where you're pitching, it's how you're pitching. And obviously where I was pitching well enough to be in consideration for making that playoff team. And but no, never in a million years would I have thought after a year and a half that I would even be sniffing the big leagues.
So you're one of 6 guys to ever make their debut in the postseason. One of 2 pitchers. I actually, former teammate of mine, Mark Kiger, was an infielder who made his debut in the division series for the Oakland A's. And talking to Pipes about what those emotions really like, dude, I, you know, never thought I was sniffing the big leagues, or I hadn't sniffed the big leagues, and now here I am. Like my biggest day on the biggest stage. And that was a little different for you because there ain't nobody screaming your name when you're running out that gate. There ain't nobody in the stands. I mean, there was, I guess, a few people towards the end there. But what was different about that experience now and then opening day this year?
You know, going into the division series, it was like, I was it was a blur day for me. So, I mean, we knew we were going against the Dodgers. So, I mean, at that point now, that's like our biggest rival. So all I could go through my head was I knew I was pitching like, dude, do not mess up. You have not been here. These guys have got them here. Do not mess up. So going out there, when that gate opened, I don't even remember what happened after that. I got jelly legged and I was like I was floating to the mound. And then, yeah, it was insane. But then opening day, the fans here, I mean, even at minimum capacity, it was loud and a lot of fun. And then I got to pitch the opener against the Dodgers for the year. And that place I could feel my insides rattling. It was so loud. And it was an awesome experience. And it was a lot of fun.
Obviously, it's a little bit looser now than it was in the postseason last October. But I mean, I'm assuming that, guys in the clubhouse, everything is spread out. It's not your normal clubhouse environment. Were you even able to, when you're making your big league debut in the division series, were you even able to have conversations with some of the big league guys where it's like, hey, I'm going to take you under my wing. I'm going to show you the ropes here. Like, are you just kind of like a lone wolf? Like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's going on. Like, what was that experience like first getting there?
So my locker, we were at the Rangers' new ballpark, and my locker was an auxiliary locker. I literally think like I had to walk like a mile to get to my locker. I was beside the batting cages, like all the way down. And so I honestly, at that point, it was just more like whenever I got to the bullpen, kind of talking to those guys, they were kind of getting locked in. I mean, it was the Padres' first postseason in forever. So they were trying to win. And obviously I wasn't going to step on any toes and ask any questions unless needed to. And but now the locker room, it's a fun team to be on. It's a fun locker room with a bunch of good group of guys. And, we're just all trying to win games and have fun. And, so far it's working out.
Mm-hmm. Have you just forced Blake Snell to become your friend? Like that's the route that I would go if I were you. Blake, guess what? We're fucking friends now, pal. Mm-hmm. You're left-handed. I'm left-handed. We've both got some nasty shit. I'd like to learn about your nasty shit. What do you say? Like how has that gone? Because I know that can be a tough approach to make at times, but look, you're already got the foot in the door. You're a lefty, you're a rotation mate. Like, I don't know if you're a gamer, but there's a lot of different avenues we could go down here. But how did you sort of engage, or have you engaged in that back and forth yet? Like, hey man, you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah. So on the side of the locker room, Snell moved his locker over to the corner. Well, Heiser and Will Myers got on to me every day because, I know I'm a rookie and like I know my role. Like, just kind of shut up, just do your work, like just sit in your locker, and if somebody talks to you, then you can talk.
Yep.
So they kept getting on to me, like they were like, tell me what this weather's kid needs to be quiet, and I'm like, I haven't said a word. Like, I'm just sitting in my locker, like not even talking. So that kind of forced me to have to talk a little bit and I talked to all the guys, and then I just kind of started talking to Snell, just asking him about his slider, like throwing it more on the plate. And he just told me I just throw it and just throw it as hard as I can. I'm like, well, if I had stuff like that, I would probably, about a slider like that, I'd probably do it. And so now me and him, we just kind of just talk all the time at the field. And that's usually the guy I stand beside every game. And, he's a great guy to be around. He's definitely showed me a lot about just kind of buckling down and getting outs. The other day when he was in the seventh and had a runner on third, nobody out, and then just punched out the side.
Yeah.
He just dominant stuff. And just getting to watch that day in, day out, and every time he pitches, watching Darvish pitch, watching Musgrove pitch, Lamet, Paddock. I mean, it's just a treat every time you get to go to the game, just getting to watch those guys pitch.
So, I mean, you're in the big leagues right now, but it wasn't that long ago that you were still pitching in high school. And when you were pitching in high school, you were virtually unchallenged. Like no one had a shot at all. How do you think you've evolved since, like, I can just go out there and fill up the strike zone and it's not going to matter, to now I have to get out big league hitters? Like, how are you different as a pitcher now compared to when you were dominating in high school?
I mean, obviously, I think now just kind of more of the being able to truly read swings and moving feet in the box, hands where their hands are, just stuff like that, just little stuff like that. But it's kind of still the same concept. I mean, they're big league hitters, but they still have to square it up. I mean, Hall of Famers are 3 for 10 and hit 300. Mm-hmm. So same concept, just fill up the zone, and I have a great defense behind me. Just keep the ball in the ballpark, and it's probably going to get caught somewhere. and you don't have to. You're not going to strike out the world. These guys, they're going to put the ball in play. They have big league at bats, obviously for a reason, and just fill up the zone. And that's what I'm struggling with right now. My biggest strong suit of filling up the zone. I'm trying to get back to filling it up and letting them put it in play because that's what I want. I want them swinging early so I can get deeper into the game. And just same concept, just throw strikes and get outs.
Do you feel like you're feeling an adjustment to you already from the league?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the
kind of crazy how quickly that shit happens.
Look on me, I think at one point I was using my fastball probably 75%, like 80%. And they were, I think it was against Seattle was the first time they were swinging. I mean, it was first they were swinging. So, and then I pitched against the Cubs and they were the same way. And then this last outing, I know it gave it 3 runs, whatever, I could care less. The stuff was there. I started flipping off speed better and throwing more changeups better. And I think as long as I can continue to mix that and change speeds, I think I'll be fine.
How about technology? You're a technology guy, and coming from high school is the reason why I asked this, because young guys that have they have pitchability. Not everybody, again, has the pedigree and learned the things you learn. Like you had a master class on the art by the time you were a junior or senior in high school. You knew things that other kids will never know. But you didn't have maybe a lot of the technology, or maybe you did, Rapsodo, Edgetronic, that kind of stuff available to you at the high school level. Now that that's available to you at this level, is it something that you've dove into headlong? Is it something that you just kind of take a bit here, a bit there? How do you involve and integrate technology in your evolution?
Yeah, so whenever I was in high school, obviously I have my dad. He was a dinosaur, old school. He just went by the eye test, and that was it.
Yep.
So, and it works to a certain extent. I guess for me, there's some stuff we changed from Rapsodo to God, I don't even know what it is. I'm trying to think. I don't even know what it is. And then we have the Edgertronic. I like the Edgertronic because it has the camera right behind you and just seeing where your hand is on the ball. But just some of that stuff, I pick and choose. Like I like the spin efficiency of the ball. Like if it's 100%, it means your ball is spinning.
Sure.
But if it's less, you're on the side of the ball. Just stuff like that. I think the numbers have just created a scientific way of describing the eye test. So
very well put.
So like spinning the ball. So if it's 100%, hey, you're on top of the ball good. Sure. If the ball's not spinning good and it's diving, hey, your hands on the side of the ball. So I think a lot of those numbers are just a scientific way of describing the dinosaurs' way of putting out whatever they did. So it's just kind of give and take.
Yeah. Sure. Do you enjoy not even notice the difference in that? I'm assuming, if you have virtually a 0 ERA with 1 billion strikeouts in high school to now, like I'm assuming, and you're also hitting 500 with 5 bombs, like you're the star, like you're the guy, all the attention's on you. The scouts are there to see you. The fans are paying attention to you. To now you're sharing a clubhouse with Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Eric Hosmer, all these names. Is that weird for you to not be in that upper echelon of like, this is the guy that everyone's coming to see right now as a rookie in the big leagues?
No. I told people for forever, as long as I'm in the big leagues, I do not care. I'll fill up water cups. I'll do whatever to be in the big leagues.
I love that.
And no, those guys always give you something to chase. Those guys are some of the greatest in the game, and those are guys you can always chase and go after and try to get at least level with them. You're probably not ever going to be above them, but it's always a goal to chase, to get after them and kind of just work your ass off.
What's been the big league moment for you so far? You maybe not even have had that moment, but that realization, that slap across your face. Holy shit, this is the big leagues. Like that just happened, or there's that dude. Am I facing this fucking guy right now? Like, what was that moment where you stopped and realized, like, damn, son, we are here?
I think my first start when it was like me going to Walker Buehler, I'm like, yeah, oh my God. Like, and then Mookie Betts is stepping in the box, and Corey Seager, then Justin Turner, then Max Muncy. I'm like, oh, this is a little different. And then just sitting there watching games was when DeGrom pitched the other night. I mean, that was just that was a different level of dominance. I mean, it was unbelievable. He's the only guy I've ever seen pitch where I'm like, you can't do anything with that. It's 100 on the black. Like you're not going to do
Yeah.
anything with it.
It's stupid. I felt that way about Felix Hernandez, watching him pitch against Oakland at our ballpark. I mean, the fucking dude, they might as well have hung a poster of Felix out in front of the Coliseum because he owned us. He owned that fucking place. And it's moments like that you watch guys outside of your group that you realize, like, dude, I thought I was good and maybe I'm okay. I'm in the big leagues, but that is like, I don't even know what that league is because that dude's in that league.
Well, that's a whole different level. I don't even know what.
Yeah. I think you're probably the youngest big leaguer that we've had on the podcast. Is there anyone that would be younger, Dallas?
No, absolutely. I mean, come on, Carrabis.
What about? I mean, like
popped his first legal beer this Christmas, right? He hadn't had a drink in his entire life since Christmas. Jared.
I think Mize might have been around the same age, which he was mentioned earlier. So, being that you're so young, me and Dallas we're in our 30s, so like we probably had like the same guys we were idolizing growing up. I'm curious, like when you were growing up, who was the guy that you were like, I want to be like that, or who was the poster on the wall?
I mean, it kind of sucks because they're our rival, but the guy I've always watched was Clayton Kershaw. I mean,
yeah,
he's the dude. I mean, he's the one that went out there and lefty, just pumping strikes. And I mean, look at him now. I mean, he's a sure Hall of Famer and definitely position player. I love watching Albert Pujols. I mean, he was the man in St. Louis. He was awesome. But definitely Kershaw. Kershaw is by far one of the most players I've ever watched, like, and tried to get stuff from, watch him do stuff, and he's unreal. So getting to watch him pitch in LA and in San Diego, it was an absolute dream come true.
He's a beast. Cool. You're watching an active Hall of Famer, man. And it's a left-hander that,
and the fact that you get to like see those guys at the same time, like you get called up, those dudes are on the same team going up, and they're your rival. Like that must be a mind-blowing experience.
You're gonna face him. You're gonna face him. You're gonna face him.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fucking outstanding. All right, Jared, hit him with the repertoire question.
Okay, what is right now your pitch repertoire? Just one word answers.
Fastball, slider, changeup.
Okay. You can abandon one of those pitches, give it away. Say it's your changeup. All right, I'm ditching the changeup. You have to take the same pitch from someone else in the big leagues right now to put it in your repertoire. Has to be an active player.
Oh, I'm taking my.
You can't have my changeup.
I'm taking my slider and taking DeGrom slider. 100%.
Okay. All right. I like that. I feel like, I mean, like
I knew that was coming the minute he lit up about DeGrom and watching him. It's hey, it was just something that featured 90,
100, 94. Like, are you like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Nothing. And that's what people do with it. Nothing.
Exactly. You're not supposed to do anything with it. You can't fucking do anything with it. You just watch it, tip your cap, drag that bat back to the rack.
Yeah. Dude's blowing 102 as a starter. It's insane.
I mean, he's averaging like seriously, when you're in the lab and you're getting the feedback and you're looking at the numbers and you're going, okay, and then you process in your head, this dude is averaging chundos,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it looks like he's playing catch.
And it's effortless. It really is. It's just stupid.
He's dotting 102.
Yeah, just fucking wherever you want. The fucking guy threw a 94-mile-an-hour changeup. You want to know what that did to me? Rhino, you want to know what that did to me? I went into the corner and sulked and cried. Like I was living a lie trying to pitch in Major League Baseball, watching Jacob deGrom throw a 94-mile-an-hour changeup. He basically just pissed all over anything that I had going for me.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking incredible. But all right, Rhino, we know you got shit to do. You got to get to the yard. We ask each and every guest this last question. If you could jump in a hot tub time machine,
like a regular time machine,
back,
like it's just like the most normal time machine that you've ever been in. It's like it's just got like standard functions. You can go back in time
hot tub
to like any point in time that you
probably
want
the
to.
Better time machine.
Yeah.
And you're in that time machine. You can go back into any moment in baseball history and bear witness to what just happened. What moment and why?
I think it would be definitely when Babe Ruth called his shot.
But he killed his wife. Did you know, Ryan? Did you know? Did you know that Babe Ruth
Herman
killed his wife? He did. So there's a story from
it's
you
not.
know, Babe
Helen
Ruth
just didn't have an ashtray, and Jared needs to get over that.
Yeah, Babe Ruth actually.
It's not lost on me.
He got married when he was a teenager. And then what happened was he asked for a divorce, and she said, "I'll divorce you if you give me $100,000." and he got angry and stormed out of the room. And then like a month later, her house burned down. So I'm just saying, I don't know. I wouldn't want to go back in time to witness an alleged
What
murder.
you take away from that, Ryan, is that she couldn't handle heartbreak and she was sulking and she was lonely. And that's unfortunate, but we have to move past that.
Yeah, a little bit of Babe Ruth, and she just didn't want that anymore.
Yeah. Homicidal maniac.
George Herman Ruth for the win. Give it to Lesty Ryan Weathers of the San Diego Padres, the Slam Diego Padres. Lesty, thanks for the time, brother.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Ryan Weathers for making the time to come on the podcast. This is his debut. He's 21 years old. I was trying to think back, like these guys have a level of maturity at 21 that I don't think I ever got.
Pedigree.
I was like
Jared,
searching my brain. I was like, what year did you get it? No, didn't get it.
Well, the dude, come on. He grew up around a big leaguer. You're learning lessons at an age where other kids just are not even being introduced to certain things. You're already learning and really working on mastering thought processes and things that help you compete. So that's why when you talk to guys that have come from a place where they've got somebody like Rhino's dad in the building, in the background, that's why you see these guys that are like Jack Leiter, like having a conversation with that guy and understanding, like he's light years ahead of kids his age. Light years.
Would you, depending on where he ends up, would you make the trip out to see Jack Leiter's first professional start in the Red Sox organization?
If Jack Leiter is drafted by the Boston Red Sox, I will come with you to Jack Leiter's professional debut.
Will you really?
I will.
Anywhere. It could be anywhere.
Wherever it is.
That's amazing. We're doing it. You can't take that back.
I'm not taking it back. I will do
Where
it.
would you start him?
Where am I starting Jack Leiter?
Yeah, like I'm fucking starting him in Double-A.
Well,
he's 21.
Here's the thing, though, and it's the reason I had Double-A on my brain was because I understand what Double-A represents, and talking about the aptitude. Do I think he would be mentally prepared for what it would have to offer? Yes, but that is all based on his father having an impact on his mindset and preparing him for that. But you just don't know how individuals are going to react when failure presents itself. And at Double-A, we're talking about you go on a good 4 or 5 game run as a touted prospect in Double-A, that phone call that you get next could very well have you skipping Triple-A. And that happens with frequency because 2A is a prospect league. Now with the manipulation of Major League Baseball, of the minor leagues, and how they're set up, I don't know if just throwing him right into the fire right away is what you want to do if you've got plans and aspirations to bring this guy along, regardless of what the numbers and the production at the level say. If you've got it in your brain that Jack Leiter is going to be impacting your big league club in the next 2 years, well, then where he starts might not be that big of a deal. Right. If that makes sense. Because you're just worried about him hitting certain check marks and benchmarks that you put in place for him for his progression to the point where he's now impacting your big league rotation. Like I don't give a shit what his numbers are at the high A site. I don't care. Like I know what I want to see from Jack Leiter.
Right. So you're not even wasting, like he's not going to rookie league.
What the fuck? Absolutely not.
So he's either going to go to Salem or Greenville, low A or high A, and then you get the Portland Sea Dogs for Double-A.
And you've got to consider whether or not they are paying attention, not whether or not they will be, paying attention to what his workload has been this year and what that translates into as a pro. It might be 20 innings, 25 innings. And then you've got instructional league. You know, is it the fall league? Who knows? So there's a lot of ways that you go with bringing a young guy like Leiter along, depending on where like what team he goes to.
So it's set in stone. If the Red Sox draft Jack Leiter, right-handed pitcher out of Vanderbilt, with the 4th overall pick in the 2021 MLB draft, Dallas Braden will be headed to Greenville, Salem.
Wherever Jack Leiter goes, that's where we'll be going. That's where we'll be going. You know what? I hope that works out for you.
I hope so, too.
I hope that works out for you. I hope that works out
too.
for us. It'd be great. It'd be great content for us.
Yeah.
And what's fun about that is
we could probably do like a road to the show doc.
Oh yeah. Get Jackie some good love. Get him some good love. You ready to play a little pepper here?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Max Muncy. Injured list.
Yeah, not great. He was hitting the
Oblique.
shit out of the ball before this.
Does it feel like the oblique is starting to come around as a soup du jour this year?
Yeah, you've been seeing a lot of obliques this year. How much of that is like, your body not being used to the grind as much as playing like a 60-game season last year, and then you come around this year and it's like, oh well, we need more. We need more.
Yeah,
out of you.
we're at 5 or 6 games beyond that 60-game mark last year. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, he'll be back. I mean, he was swinging it before, like he might have injured himself putting baseballs into the fucking ocean.
Raking. So Muncy to the IL. We talked about Madrigal as well, 60-day piece. Have they decided whether or not this is going to be something they're going to explore surgically? They just kind of waiting, rest, and rehab?
I think it's still on the table, but they were waiting to see like how he responds to rest.
I pray to God they don't box this. Please. Please, 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 please. Because Madrigal represents one of those players in the game that can help usher that shift away from the 3 true outcome approach or the 3 true outcome player just being littered in every lineup. I want to see lineups full of Nick Madrigals because I love this dude's game. Fucking love it. Bat to ball wizard. Hustles. Plays his ass off defensively. Also a Northern California product. Shout out Elk Grove. Another member of the Thundering Herd, along with Rowdy Tellez. But I don't want to see a big tool for Nick Madrigal, which is his base, his foundation, his legs, his ability to move on the base path, his ability to range defensively. I don't want to see that compromised by not doing what should absolutely be done with this injury. And I don't know if that's a surgical repair, and I don't know if that means Nick Madrigal just doesn't play baseball for the rest of the year to avoid surgery, but also avoid re-injuring it to a point where he's never the same. I don't want to have Nick Madrigal's career defined by a nagging hamstring injury that they didn't handle properly when the White Sox were in a position to take the division. Like, you're in a good spot right now. If you can hold water without Madrigal, let's not force the issue.
Yeah, I would hope that they're able to avoid surgery, especially because, it'd be one thing if this was your big blow of the year. It's almost like you've got a big blow of the month with the White Sox this season. And, when you do have a situation where one of your stars goes down, now you have 2 stars down, now you have this potential star down, then it kind of falls on the other guys to pick up the slack. And if you have other guys that are already given a max effort and now they feel like they have to give even more of an effort, that's not a good equation to be in.
No.
I will say this, though. I saw this Twitter account It's called Starting Nine Data, and I think it's a listener that their bio says dream is to work for Starting Nine because they are making baseball popular again, and he or she is coming up with like these different charts and graphs that are related to conversations that we've had on the podcast. And then this tweet just went out a few moments ago. It says Starting Nine debuted on August 3rd, 2017. Since then, they have had 125 players on the show, including Dallas. Below, see the running total of wins above replacement for players on the show. And it's like a graph. It's like an animated graph of the wins above replacement for all the players that are on the show. That's pretty cool.
So I'm looking at it right now. So what does that mean? Does that mean the players are getting better? That just means the players we're getting are getting better. How is that?
I think it means that the players that we've gotten get better.
Yeah, there you go. Starting Nine Rub. How about that? I just found it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I don't think anyone's really gotten worse.
No, I would hope not.
No.
That's not what we're here for. We don't want to be attached to that. Speaking of attached, is Luis Severino's groin still attached?
Yeah, what the fuck? The fuck was that all about?
I didn't look good. It did not. Have you seen the video? Did you see the video?
I saw the video. Yeah, it did not look good at all.
And I'm just going to speak from experience here. All right, I'm going to speak from having felt this exact pain and done this exact thing on a rehab assignment. Not even on a rehab assignment, Jared. I was throwing in the bullpen, ready to face hitters for the first time in a fucking year. So excited. So fucking excited. Had the brass out there, other kids in the fire league that were around there while I was out there. Everybody's around watching the bullpen, getting ready. I blow my fucking groin out in the bullpen, warming up to go face live hitters. Just instant fucking pain, instant swelling. Absolutely sucks. Sucks.
How do you do that?
It's a
pushing off.
I think for Severino, it's a recoil, and for me, it was pushing off. And it could be just that coil after you've driven off as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it looked like for Severino. It was on the recoil after he let a pitch go. And what's tough is, dude, you can't load up. There's no striding after that with any sort of force. And the groin, kind of like the oblique in terms of how little you acknowledge its existence until it hurts. And then you realize, oh, fuck, I can't even take a breath without this thing hurting. Same thing with the groin. I can't even take a step, a stride, whatever. I mean, what's scary about this, Jared, is he was helped off the field by two staff members, like training staff, coaching staff. That's not a little tug. That's not a little twinge. Just for context.
That's like a tear off the bone.
I was going to say, for context, I limped myself off the mound, and I limped back to the training room, and I had a significant strain. It was not a detachment. So to see him kind of, maybe a tick or two above what I was dealing with is not good. That scares me. I don't like that.
Yeah, not good. We'll wait for an update on that, but as far as that goes, that's all we got. MLB is going to be formalizing a memo regarding the foreign substances that I think they're, as of yesterday, the day before, they said it was like a week to 10 days before they had finished it and sent it out to all these major league teams. We've already started to see some pitchers stop using the sticky stuff. See the spin rates go down. We've seen performances go down. It's interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I mean, yeah, it's. We knew that this was coming. We didn't know how quickly Major League Baseball would act upon it. But apparently, the answer to that is swiftly. Which, if you're a fan of Major League Baseball, I mean, this is. It could go one or two ways. You could be happy about it, like, hey, there's finally an even playing field. And you could also be upset about it because some of your favorite pitchers, they're not going to be as good anymore. It's just a matter of reality here.
Who gets popped first? a starter or a reliever?
Reliever.
You think so? I thought
Yeah.
so too, because
I think
it's
I think
almost
gonna be
like
a reliever, because I feel like if you're Major League Baseball and you want, I think if you suspend a reliever, you're not just making an example for one player, you're sending a message to the teams, like to, hey, police your guys, not just like players, hey, police yourselves so that you don't get embarrassed. You're sending a message to the teams, because if you lose a reliever for 10 games, that's going to hurt way more than if you need to fucking bullpen a team for 2 starts or 1 turn through the rotation or whatever. Like, I feel like it's to come after a starter, unless it's Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, whoever, it's going to be a slap on the wrist compared to, some of these teams playing fucking 17 games in 17 days. You you fucking suspend one of their relievers and they can't replace that guy on the roster. You're really fucking the whole team.
But that's where, and I hate to say this, but that's where you have to think about this and question. Like, I'm sorry, I can question how serious you are based on the severity of the punishment you levy, right? How badly do you want this taken care of? Well, let's take a look at the punishment you've laid out. So, straight up, the punishment for a starting pitcher is laughable. 2 turns. And how do you not apply a weighted suspension evenly here? Because you could easily argue, especially if you're let's say you're the Rays. All right? You want to lose Pete Fairbanks? You want to lose Nick Anderson? You want to lose Diego Castillo for 10 fucking games? Probably not. Probably not. You're going to be okay with Ryan Yarbrough being gone for 2 games? Probably.
Yeah, you almost want to build in some rest for those guys, but you
be
want to
okay
lose
with
one
that?
of your best relievers for 3 straight series? No.
Can't do that. So it's almost like, hey, look, starters, if you're able to get out there and get going and get away with it, fucking have at it. But for the relievers, because remember, you guys are the ones coming in these leverage situations now, slowing the game down, replay, stepping off, making sure we got our signs correct, looking at our cheat sheets, like all of the things that we talk about when it comes to speeding the game up, providing action in the game, that's all built around relief appearances when you think about it. You got to speed
Did you
it
just
up.
get this same text?
Yes. Wait, what's is this what he? Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's great.
He's the hater of the year.
So just for that's great. So we just got a message. We just got a message from a friend of ours, friend of the program. And is this he's come across this card? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's big into like cards now. That's like his new thing.
Sure. But an autographed select card of 25, 19 of 25, auto, Topps 2020, Allen and Ginter, Jared Carrabis, has come across the desk of one Evan Longoria. Longo not too happy about the idea that Carrabis is driving up the market for podcasters and front office folks. It's a battle that I think may go on for a while here between you and Longo.
He's mad. He's mad that he doesn't like the clout factor. He gets upset about it. It's unsettling. It's unsettling to me.
Well, it's funny, and I'm with Longo here. I'm absolutely. let's just be real. Let's get that out. Let's get that out in the open here. This is the world we live in today. This is the world we live in today, though, where all you need is a hype machine. That's all you need. Like production, all that kind of stuff. That's neither here nor there. It's just about a hype machine. Can you get the masses hyped? And if that happens, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
You're good to go. Baseball players not necessarily known for trying to get the hype machine going, for caring about getting the hype machine going, but that's all changing with the younger talent coming into the game. That's all changing. What can we do for Longo? I can't have Longo.
I'll send him a card.
Feeling down and out about this.
Yeah, I don't want him to be sad. I don't want him. I really.
You're like, I know, like I obviously I know you, and I know you very well, and I know your mindset. I know why you say things you say. I know why you use certain words you use, and what you're trying to do to Evan Longoria right now, Jared, is mean. It's frankly,
it's mean.
The exchange that's occurring right now is, I'm watching you bully a friend of mine, and I don't.
I mean, he deserves it.
I don't know how I feel about it. Oh, Longo. Yeah, we need to get him a package. We get him a little care package.
Yeah,
we'll get him taken care of. Is that? I guess we should touch on this. Jacob deGrom did leave his start a little early, 6 innings. He punched out 10, for what that's worth. But flexor tendon issue. Not excited about that, because we know where you start to go with that. Elbow. Like I said in Morningwood, get those nasty thoughts out of your mind right fucking now. But the reason I don't like this, Jared, it's the second injury that we've had this year.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't like it. I don't like it because if he's going to put the body at rest to try to bounce back and rehab and blah, 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 I just don't want him to continue to have little nagging tic-tac bullshit that affects him and doesn't allow us to see the season that I think we're going to see unfold.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. The fact, you know what else I don't like? The fact that there's a fucking $5,500 Dave Portnoy card on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that's all, and that's what cards do. It's all relative. It's just all who's willing to pay that. Like, I don't know that there's a market for that card or for those cards in a grand macro sense, but for the collector, for the folks who have the opportunity and have the ability to make things more valuable, that's the world we're in right now. Like the NFTs. Do you value it? If you do, spend the money on it. That's what sets the market.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Could you imagine paying north of $5,000 for a Dave Portnoy baseball card?
No. No. What the fuck? No. Absolutely not. Kid me?
Incredible.
Yeah. Well, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm excited for this fucking Lance Lynn, Tyler Glasnow matchup.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. Freudian slip there. Freudian slip.
Why is that a Freudian slip?
Well, because we know who's on your brain. We know who you
Trevor
really
Bauer?
love. Subconsciously, That's who your heart beats for. If you're not thinking about me in the shower, you're thinking about Trevor Bauer. And, I mean,
I don't think it's any secret that I'm always thinking about Tyler Glasnow. But if you have noticed, I haven't been tweeting about him a whole lot recently, and it's
so here, I just want to say this. I've said this twice now in the last 5 minutes about the world. That's how the world is right now. That's how the world is right now. Can you read the last response from Evan Longoria, please?
They said the world is so crazy right now.
Oh, that's what we think as players when this shit happens. Because you're just like, this
Dave's
is
card being $5,500.
Well, Dave's. Well, I don't know if that's like, yeah, Dave's card. But just like the idea that people who aren't baseball players or basketball players or whatever are being given cards and blah blah blah. Like it's a shift on a level that when you're young, you're like, well, no, I never had a fucking, I don't know, I never had a Tupac baseball card. Did they make them?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never had.
That'd be sick though.
That'd be fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I would love a Tupac Snoop Dogg baseball card dressed up. America's Most Wanted. Give me that fucking card.
Yeah. I feel like they need to circle back around with you, and they need to come out with like the Allen and Ginter Dallas, like the broadcaster baseball card. Like you look like a completely different person now. It would make a lot of sense if you had like an updated.
We already have one. That's already out there.
A fucking broadcaster one?
Yep.
What year?
Last year?
No.
Yeah, look it up. Look up right now, announcer, whatever. Just type in Dallas announcer card, and you'll see it. There it is. How about that?
It's not an Allen and Ginter though, right?
No, it's just a top series.
But a ballpark profile card, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
You need an Allen and Ginter.
Yeah, I've got my that's my hunt. My hunt is to get all of my one of ones.
I think I only have one of one, and I got it.
You gotta pay for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Now we're talking about cards. I think I might get crazy. Start opening up some of these baseball cards I got.
Do it, you won't.
I'm fucking gonna. Some of these Bowmans. All right. Is that it?
I think that's it. Enjoy this week of baseball. Hope everyone enjoyed the podcast today. I don't want to hear a single fucking person bitch about this episode. I don't want to hear anyone complain. This was a good episode. And if you disagree, go fuck yourself. I don't want you to listen to the podcast. Yeah, this was a good episode. And if you disagree, go fuck yourself.
Wing on.